If you want to avoid postpartum depression and focus on how to give yourself the most nourishment along with your baby and bonding, then this video is for you. Oh, Maggie. So we are about 2.5 months postpartum, and it's been a really amazing experience. But I didn't just like walk into an amazing postpartum period without doing any work or prep or like intention. And so I want to share with you exactly all the little things that made my postpartum experience really amazing. Postpartum depression is very common in women, especially in the West. And if you read the book, The First 40 Days, you understand very quickly why. And that is because, from an ancestral standpoint, even to biblical times and the red tent, women have always had a very important role in re-nurturing themselves postpartum and having the support that they needed in order to be healthy and strong and raise healthy, strong, vibrant children. But what's happened is women have gone into the workforce and now have had to go back into work as soon as 6 weeks postpartum. And that's just not sustainable. We have a huge fluctuation of hormones that are changing postpartum. Our babies need us, and it can lead to anxiety and stress and consequently postpartum depression. So we're going to go into all of my tips for setting yourself up for a happy, nurturing postpartum period. But before we do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading videos. Let's get started. So I feel like it's pretty common nowadays for people to come up with birth plans, whether it's hospital or home birth. Birth plans are a great way to write down all of your wishes and hopes. Um, and especially considering that you might not be in the right mindset during labor and even initially postpartum to make important decisions. And so it's very important to think these things through and have it down on paper so your caretaker knows what your hopes and wishes are. As even if your husband or loved one is there next to you who knows what you want, they might not be able to be in the right state of mind during labor or postpartum to help you. So having that birth plan is really important. Now, there's a number of factors that can go into postpartum depression that I won't tap into because they're extensive and there's a lot to share about them. But I will say that home births in general lead to a lot less postpartum depression, and there's a reason for that. Because without getting on the hamster wheel of interventions, having a natural birth, God willing, allows for better breastfeeding success. And the more breastfeeding success you have, the less likely you are to experience stress, anxiety, the more likely you are to bond with your baby and feel great. Definitely, if you're interested in either a hospital birth or home birth, check out my other pregnancy and birth videos. So having a good birth experience is certainly going to affect you emotionally and physically postpartum. And like I said, we're not going to delve too into that, just the fact that the more likely you are to have a positive birth experience if you have a home birth. That's just the facts. Usually it depends on the midwife transport rate to the hospital, but usually it's less than 10% chance that you need to go to a hospital. So there's something to consider. But whether you choose to have a hospital birth or a home birth, there are so many things you can do to set yourself up for a happy postpartum period. And the book, The First 40 Days, does a really good job of going into how you can get support. Number one is nourishment. And that's something I don't think I even realized how helpful it would be until I got the help that I needed. And I got the help in a few different ways. First, my friends signed up signed me up with a Mealtrain. There's an actual website that allows you and friends to um, plug in all the different days and dates that you would like meals. And this was huge because I wasn't expected to feed my family or myself for the first 40 days. We had friends dropping off meals. There is a caveat to that, of course, and that is know your friends. Are they going to serve you the meals that you want? Are they going to be organic? You can write in those sorts of requests, but I certainly wouldn't make those requests of people that, aren't necessarily of that same mindset. Um, but there is that option. And honestly, just having the meals is more important than anything. Like a home cooked meal versus fast food is everything. Now, what I did is I had like 3 weeks of friends dropping off meals, and usually they're making enough to last you a couple of days. We ended up going with paper plates and utensils, so my husband did not have to worry about the dishes. Um, and that made a huge difference. So minimizing how much others have to do around you, so that way you can spend the first 40 days in bed just being fed and nurtured and having things done for you. So that way all you have to do is focus on feeding and bonding with your baby. And these are little things that you can put in your birth plan in terms of a postpartum plan, designating someone to do laundry, designating someone to sweep or clean the house. Think about the things that you do to keep your household in order. And those are things that you're going to want to designate somebody else to do. And granted, I know that, some women hop right back to it and they feel great. And that's wonderful. That's totally fine. If that genuinely is what you want to do it. But there's something to be said about truly letting your body rest and heal and just being taken care of. That just feels absolutely amazing. And it's so interesting because postpartum hair loss is a common thing. A lot of people talk about it. There's some things you can do to um, not have to deal with that. And, first, it's a hormonal thing. Your body is going through a bunch of hormonal changes, but you know what affects your hormones big time? Stress. What happens postpartum for a lot of moms in the West? Stress. Because you're trying to do it all. You're trying to find a new rhythm versus just being cared for and nurtured. So I can say having family come in and help you clean, help you do the laundry, ask your friends. Like if you don't have your family, ask your friends. If you don't have your friends, ask your family. Like be honest with your needs. People want to come in and help you. Even if you feel alone and you're trying to make friends. If you're pregnant, and don't have a community, find your community. Be honest with them. Say, I'm about to have a baby. I'm going to need help. I want to connect with people and give back now. And then once I have this baby, like I want to be a part of this community and I really could use support. People want to help each other. I had a friend come and pick up bags of laundry. So really accepting that help, seeking that help in the form of laundry, cleaning, and meals is everything. Set up your little nest, whether most likely in your bedroom, on your nightstand with all the things that you need. So you really don't need to go anywhere. You can just hang out and bond with your baby. I stick committed to the 40 days. And towards the end of it, I would say like the last week, I definitely started to get up and start moving because it was good for me to transition back into reality. But at least for the first 2 to 3 weeks, I basically stayed in my bedroom. I had everything I needed. I ate, I fed, I napped, and I journaled quite a bit. And it was just a really wonderful way of going slow and fueling myself and this baby and feeling good about it. One of the things that I did constantly from birth on was drink tons of tea. So I knew, based on my weight, I needed to drink basically a gallon of water or liquid every day. And I was going for caffeine-free, nutritious, um, lactation boosting herbs like Nora tea, which stands for nettle, oat straw, raspberry leaf, and alfalfa. Super nutritious, offers really nutritious milk to your baby, helps with lactation. So does fennel and chamomile. Sometimes I would add chamomile and lavender to help promote relaxation. I did have this little postpartum kit from Birth Song Botanicals that had a variety of different tinctures in there, like emotional support, motherwort, really became a huge helper. Anytime I started to feel anxiety, drop some drops under my tongue for some immediate relief. Motherwort specifically can be addictive, so you have to be mindful about how you use it. But I loved the use of these herbal tinctures and teas to regulate my nervous system and provide my body with loads of vitamins and minerals. The first 40 days book also has a great section of recipes that are, again, nutritious, refueling the body, not so much as heavy on like carbs and um, and processed food, but like nourishing meals in the form of bone broth and meats. And honestly, this was where it would have been hard if I was only reliant on my meal train because those meals were some of them were absolutely delicious, but they weren't always gut friendly and best for recovery. Is that what you want? And that's when I found this incredible service called Mama Meals. And Mama Meals uses all organic, regenerative raised meats, organic ingredients, Redmond real salt, organs, liver. I mean, literally all the ingredients you would hope to have in your kitchen, in your pantry, if you are a holistic, healthy mama like me. And their meals were absolutely amazing. They come frozen. And at first, I got like a starter package, and I wish that I had just gotten the full shebang from the very get-go because they contain breakfast, meals for lunch and dinner, and they're easy for my husband or my family to come in and just heat up for me. So my family, the rest of my family might eat what was on the meal train, but I always had a gut-friendly, just comforting food that was good for my recovery from the get-go. I ended up getting the huge package because I was obsessed, and it just made such a huge difference in my postpartum recovery. I also ended up hiring a friend who was familiar with the first 40 days and was making meals specifically from those recipes. And she made a few meals for me as well. So we really went through the full 40 days being fed by other people. And honestly, I feel like between the meals and the tea and the laundry and the cleaning, that was everything I needed to be able to honor the first 40 days um, and just feel good and calm. And I think there were two times where I got sad or overwhelmed, but in 40 days, which I felt like was great because those were moments of like just going through the adjustment, like one night. One of those two times was when I had changed like six diapers in a row at the same time because she peed in or pooped in one. I took that diaper off. She peed on the pee pad. I didn't realize it. I put another diaper down. That diaper got wet. Put in another diaper, peed. Like it was just so much. And I was so tired that I started crying. And my husband woke up and noticed. And he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I'm just so tired." But truly, I felt like, just that was nothing. To be able to have just this overall super happy bonding experience and feel so nourished and good. My mom even gave me like a full body massage with coconut oil. I had a friend do some like physical therapy on my little baby, like little stretches and things to relax her and help her development. It was just absolutely wonderful. And so I've been able to gradually get back into life, into the farm chores, into cooking. Baby wearing with a baby carrier has made a huge effect on like what I can get done. And also I would say feeding on demand and co-sleeping have had a huge, have been a huge help in this postpartum experience as well, because it's zero stress. I mean, there's like nothing to stress about. Like she stays with me all the time for the most part. If she gets hungry, it's usually because she's tired or hungry. If she fusses, it's usually because she's hungry or tired, or a little bit of both. And so you get to know her needs, their baby's needs. And that is a result of the bonding that you give yourself initially is like really like fine tuning what they're trying to tell you. And she's 2.5 months old now and almost sleeping through the night. Sometimes she only has one diaper to change a night. And maybe one or two times of breastfeeding, which I'm just guessing that she needs because I just offer it to her and she takes it. So I don't even know. But I mean, we're getting good sleep. She sleeps great. Um, all of her needs are being met. She barely cries. So if your baby is crying, there's a reason for it. And it's either because they're uncomfortable, like in their car seat, which we experienced. She did not like the car seat, and we realized that we weren't fastening her in there correctly, and that was uncomfortable to her. Now she's totally fine. Diaper change, like babies don't cry for no reason. And if you can't figure out the reason, it might be because you're too stressed to see the reason. Minimize stress, plan your postpartum period, execute your postpartum plan, give yourself the first 40 days if you can, ask for help, lean on your people. There is no need to rush back to work unless it's required of you. People will say how lucky I am that I get to do this. And yes, I absolutely am. But I also chose this lifestyle, and it's taken me 12 years to get where I am professionally, where I can make my own schedule, where I can dictate how many days I want off. And I honestly think that's an important piece to this because this lifestyle that I'm living has taken 12, almost 13 years to get to. But this was the vision from the very get-go. I wanted a simple life. I wanted to live in the country. I had no idea how far that would go in terms of homeschooling and home birthing and all the things. But what I can say is that it's a path to a simpler life, to a more connected life, to a life that is digging back into our roots and into our ancestors' way of life. I wish this for everyone, and that's the reason why I'm sharing it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, please make sure to ask them below. I've got links below to everything that I mentioned today, the Mama Meals, the Mealtrain website. I hope that you utilize that. It makes such a huge difference. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading content.